A trade deal with the EU can still be reached despite significant divisions remaining, Downing Street insisted. The seventh round of talks starts on Tuesday as negotiators scramble to secure an agreement ready for when the Brexit transition arrangements end. Clashes over fishing and so-called level playing field rules that will keep Britain tied to the EU led to discussions in July ending in deadlock. Number 10 insisted the government will continue to work at ways to plug the gaps in the potential deal. There are many issues that will be discussed during this week's round, not least level playing field, fisheries, trading goods and services amongst others, a spokesman said. There are many areas where there is convergence, but we will continue to work to plug the gaps where any differences remain. Our assessment is that a deal can still be reached in September. Brexiteers say Brussels is failing to treat the UK as an independent sovereign nation by continuing to demand the UK follows EU standards in return for continued access to the single market, as well as insisting on the same fishing rights it already has. The government insists securing Britain's sovereignty as a top priority, and it is only asking for Brussels to agree to a deal similar to the one it struck with Canada. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has ruled out extending the December deadline to reach a deal. UK negotiator David Frost said considerable gaps remained after last month's talks. EU counterpart Michel Barnier insisted an agreement looked at this point unlikely. He also accused the UK of failing to show a willingness to break the deadlock after the July negotiations. He said there was a risk of no deal being achieved unless the UK changed its course on topics that are at the heart of the EU's trade interests. Mr. Barnier insisted an agreement would be needed by October at the latest so that it could be ratified before the Brexit transition period ends in December. The two negotiators will meet for dinner in Brussels on Tuesday evening and continue talks until Friday. Mr. Johnson has repeatedly insisted he will walk away rather than allow discussions to drag on into the autumn, arguing that British businesses and citizens need certainty on the way forward before then. If the two sides are unable to reach a deal by the end of the year, Britain will leave the single market and the customs union and instead do business with the bloc using world trade rules.